G'day, mate. We're just throwing some shrimps on the barbie, enjoying a Vegemite, and clicking through all the tantalizing impulse links being thrown up by the web this week. Why don't you crack the tubes, whoop up some Wallamaloo, and join us for a bazinga? That's not a clickbait. This is a clickbait. Bodgy smugglers, Dangerajus, Bingos.
Stop it. You went too far, Ing. You crossed a line man was not meant to cross. I bet people... That was Ing introducing the show, which has not happened before, so I bet everyone listening to this for the first time is going, what the hell am I listening to? Anyway. What the F hell? But yes, it's another day of Destroy All Clickbait.
I have a family of wombats living in me budgie smugglers.
I got a didgeridoo in me pantaloons. And yours kind of veered into like a posh British guy.
I know, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I could do another take if you want.
No, it's fine, please. Spare us mercy.
We could do the New Zealand version. G'day, mate. Well, just throwing some shrimps on the barbie.
Is that? Oh, okay. You're basically just doing Rhys Darby at that point, right?
So the sort of stereotype for the Kiwi accent is Australian but nasalier.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
All right. So now I've been putting. So this week I actually did some research because we had one. Yes,
the Spider-Man theme sounds funny in Kiwi.
Spider-Man. Well, there's our title.
Spider-Man. Here's what evil Spider can.
Goes around doing.
Can he swing from a web?
What on
yes,
God's
he can.
name are you doing?
I forgot the words. Look out! Here comes Spider-Man.
Oh God.
Radioactive blood.
Ing.
I want pictures of Spider-Man.
Ing is very tired tonight, everyone.
I'm very tired.
Has not eaten, and his blood sugar may be low. So we're not really sure what the hell.
So low.
We're not really sure what's going on with him tonight.
A very tired boy.
Yes, a very tired boy. Well, let's get right to it then. No, so I did this. I don't know if you guys saw the video I sent with the 10 tricks you can do with you didn't know you could do with your food. Which was, did you see that link? I put it.
I hope it's 10 reiterations of just fucking eat them.
Sadly, it is not. None of them involve eating the actual food. It's all playing with your food in different ways.
Yeah.
And the thing is, right away my red flag went up because as cool as some of them look, the very first one, and it even has commentary on it, people going, what? Is that even true? And it turns out it's not. So some of them are in fact true. They are fun things you can do with food, but some of them are in fact made up. The very first thing they show you is putting hot coal into peanut butter, putting it under ice.
Oh, yes, I did see this one.
Yeah. Putting it on ice for a while, and then it turns to a crystal, supposedly. Not a diamond, but a crystal.
A crystal, yeah.
Except
supposedly.
A crystal from a coal would be a diamond.
Right. Well, I mean, there's some basically in my research, what I found, I'll actually send you a link that I found commenting on this.
Okay.
But the argument is that it technically could happen, but not the way they've shown it happening.
No, it can't. You cannot make a diamond from peanut butter.
Yeah. I think, is it actually, no, it's a Medium article, but it's talking about Mythbusters type thing. And basically, like, it's like, yeah, you could do this if you had, like, industrial equipment or something, possibly, by turning it into diamonds, right? By crushing it, basically. So essentially, that's
applying pressure.
There is somebody who's done something like this using their laboratory equipment meant to recreate the conditions of the mantle of the Earth.
Right.
There's two problems with it being done in your kitchen, is that, one, it's not commercially available, and two, it has a tendency to explode.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I would have... Okay. Boy, those weren't even the things I was thinking of. But yes, I thought you had to apply some ridiculous amount of pressure even for it to work, right?
Recreating the conditions of the mantle of the Earth.
Yeah, right. So otherwise, everyone would have diamonds and run around dripping with diamonds. So, yeah.
I mean, diamonds actually aren't all that rare. And it is actually fairly simple to make them in a lab in that sense.
Right.
But if you're gonna make them in a lab, there are better ways than with peanut butter. Like,
and a bowl of ice.
Well,
right.
Fair,
At that point, the peanut butter and that is adding a handicap to the process.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, they're not suggesting it's a diamond. They're saying it's a, quote, crystal, unquote.
That's what a coal diamond would be. It's that coal is carbon. That's all it is. Right. There's no other... And there's nothing in fucking peanut butter to add it to make it differently, because peanut butter is an organic thing. There's no other place for you to get a crystal. You're not getting, like, aluminum or silicon added anywhere to it. All there is to add is the goddamn carbon.
Right. Exactly. So, yeah, I don't know exactly what they're getting at. So it is weird because several of the other things are basically true. So it's weird that they lead off with that one, which is maybe the most impressive looking, but definitely seems to be
a blatant lie, yes.
Yeah, it's a blatant lie. Well, because then, so then they do things like the thing where you can put ice in salt water, or put water in, like, salt water, and then take it out and watch it instantly freeze.
Yeah.
Which is basically true, although apparently a little trickier to pull off than they portrayed it.
Right, they did not properly give instructions.
Right. They just they're showing you in a hyper-speed version. But I believe, the idea is that the ice... the salt water can go at a lower temperature and remain liquid than frozen water can by itself, because salt keeps the ice from melting, so the temperature goes down, so that you can basically have everything remain liquid, and then suddenly, I guess there's an adjustment, and everything clicks into place because the water was chilled to a level below ice. There's also, let's see. So then they've got soda cleaning metal, Sprite cleaning metal, which seems to be basically true. Later one, which is ketchup cleaning metal.
But it's... It is possible to do that, but if you're going to do it, I think it only works for copper and brass.
Right, yes, only certain
efficiently,
metals.
And there's other...
Pewter, I think, works too.
There are other just household...
Right.
Chemicals that would actually do that better, such as vinegar.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I actually Googled around, and I did see people on, like, household blogs actually recommending ketchup and stuff, and not, like, household ammonia or whatever. I don't know why. Maybe they just thought it was cool.
Well,
or maybe
vinegar is acetic acid. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the vinegar and the ketchup, clearly, that's doing it. And in the soda, it's the...
Again, it's the vinegar in the ketchup that's doing it. So why are you going through the unnecessary step of adding tomato paste, which will stain?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
It's,
who knows? Unless there's just people who know they have ketchup but don't necessarily have vinegar. So there's that.
And I can see the consistency of ketchup maybe making it a little more easier to manage than, like, liquid vinegar, but I'm stretching, obviously. So it's pretty it's not exactly something I would turn to. But anyway, and in this case it's more just like, hey, this is weird. Food does this. Isn't that weird? So, fair enough. The warm water clearing wax from a fruit, which is, I didn't even have to look that up. That's pretty obviously true. It just melts the wax off.
Yeah, but as one critique I saw of it, this is the strange and exotic trick known as fucking washing your fruit.
Yeah.
And also said, I have no idea what the hell is up with their apple there, because it looks nothing like the wax that is used to preserve and ensure...
Right.
Because supermarkets, they wax the fruit to maintain its look and to keep it from over-ripening while it's on the shelf.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a thin coat of wax that I have no idea what the fuck happened to this apple.
Yeah. Well, it looks, they're trying to make everything look, And then anyway, there's a few others, like you can have fluffier eggs if you put in carbonated water, which is actually kind of cool, but not exactly, mind-blowing.
Also, that's pointless because you can just fluff the eggs via whisking.
Or
yeah.
This is
like the way they make those eggs doesn't look appealing to me. I don't know anyone who eats eggs that way personally.
No, you can just whisk them. This is again adding an unnecessary step.
Yeah.
Well, I can sort of see it because to really get it really frothy, you've got to whip it really hard. You got to whip it good, as Devo said. So I don't know if you're super lazy. Maybe that's a better. That's an easier way to get it really frothy. But then that means
you have to go out and get carbon dioxide, which is still more work.
Well, technically,
than just whisking, and you could get a food processor to make your whisking easier.
Right. Well, I have if you have a soda stream, which actually we do at my house. We could dump that in. So, in theory, yes, this would be fairly straightforward for me to do. But yes, it all depends on what resources you have available. But yeah, it does. I have to say that looked kind of good. I make omelets a lot. That looked like it would be kind of tasty, honestly. But anyway, so the other big controversial one in the video is the honey one. You guys saw that one, right?
Yeah. Where they
oddly, I'm not remembering the honey one.
Put honey into a bowl and they put water on top, and then somebody just swirls it around to show what the honeycomb looked like. But that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
and they use the term genetic memory, which is
very dubious when they throw in genetic memory, and they even use it in the video, which is really weird. Like there's so much more.
One, honey wouldn't have a genetic memory.
Right.
Yep.
Two,
exactly.
That's not a thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You might as well be saying that, we will... Yeah. It's like, we'll be able to have the honey show you what shape the honeycomb was because we're tapping into its PhD.
Yeah.
It did its treatise on this.
Oh, God.
Yeah. This is the most educated honey. Clover honey is the most educated honey, as opposed to foxglove honey, which is basically a dumbass. Well, this is like that supposed experiment where people said that if you wrote like suspended crystals in water and they wrote certain words on the outside of the jar and it affected the shape of the crystals in the jar. It's like very new agey stuff. Which have you heard about that?
No.
I'm aware of that. That's another thing that doesn't make sense at all.
It doesn't.
I've not heard of that. I hate New Age bullshit.
Yeah, and the attempts to replicate it there have been pretty much that what the hell are you talking about?
Okay.
My knee-jerk with that is, that somebody just, the crystals just formed in different patterns randomly, and when somebody studied it, they went, look, this one looks jaggeder, and that one looks smoother, and therefore, because they wrote love on one and hate on the other, and the words made it change. Like, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah, I remember person on the internet, I'm not sure what she's up to, Rebecca Watson had done a project blogging her attempting a replication of that sources where she improved upon it by adding a control group.
Right.
Which was just given neutral things. So we had, I think it was done on apples or something, that we had one apple was given I love you, the every day was told I love you and had that message put on it. The other one was fuck you apple. And told that every day. And the third one was hey.
Hey apple.
Yeah.
Just like hey, just a neutral.
Just like hey. Just a neutral acknowledgement.
It was the Buckley. That turned into Buckley, the Buckley of apples.
And that apple was Albert Einstein.
Of course it was.
I feel it was the apple from the neutral planet. I have no strong opinions one way or the other.
If I don't survive, tell my wife hello.
Yes. Hello. Yeah, I love Grant Morrison, but he actually he seems to believe in some new agey bullshit, and he put that in one of the Seven Soldiers issues, I believe. I mean, which to be fair, it's a comic book, so it's not like it's goofy science anyway.
Also, but... Adam, you can't talk. You do have a comic that is recreating like some of Grant Morrison and Alan Moore's Chaos Magic theory.
I don't know what you're talking about. Or do I?
That's explicitly in the mission statement of it, so...
Yes, but I'm not... Yes, well...
Let us not go around throwing glass houses at our rocks now.
Fair enough, but I'm not claiming that, to have invented a new scientific procedure that does crazy shit. I'm just saying... maybe like the existence of God can be proven with this comic. Small scale stuff like this. I don't know. Mine is more philosophical than dealing with actual science. But yes, you're
I'm
right.
not making any grandiose claims, like
Exactly.
that it changes the crystallization of water. Just that I can prove God.
Yes, I can destroy God with my comic.
Oh my god.
Which can't be. It's unfalsifiable, so therefore, it's not scientific.
The comic is just
Yeah.
him writing a note to Jehovah saying, if you want an ass kicking, meet me in the parking lot of Walmart.
Oh my god. Oh no, you've killed Adam.
See, this is what happens when you call God out.
Oops, I got cancer now. Thanks a lot, Ing. I'm gonna blame
Oh
you for
no, Adam's been smited.
this. I've been smitten.
Smoten.
That sounds sounds quite
smitten
innocent.
is
doesn't
like
it?
with
Yeah.
an emotional thing, like you're in love. I think it's smote.
Smoten. Yeah.
Smote. Smited.
Also, because this video is on loop, I love the fact that you can actually tell the coal changes size when it goes from the peanut butter to the ice. Like, it gets smaller.
Because
maybe.
it's just a quartz crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's been dipped
Wrapped
into
in
peanut
some
butter.
sort of and then I guess beforehand some sort of charcoal so that it looks
Yeah.
like it's removing it. Okay, quartz is also.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, is quartz a carbon crystal? No, it isn't. No,
It's something.
Okay.
rubies and sapphires are aluminum or aluminate crystals. Quartz is silicon dioxide.
Huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Huh.
But not aluminum, but luminate, right? That's what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So just to be
It's
clear.
crystals of which aluminum is prominent in it.
So here, Cell says rubies and sapphires is Illuminati crystals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Illuminati?
Illuminati
is a different
crystals.
thing. That's a whole other thing. You've stumbled onto something, Avi. You'll be going to take you out now.
with our friends here, Cell.
Yeah.
Letting
back
us
to-
know.
It's the QAnon of magic crystals.
Oh yeah,
basically.
totally.
The Illuminati
God.
are all in on it.
Mm.
That's why the Illuminati don't want you to know that you can make diamonds out of peanut butter.
Yeah, if Vampiric Yoda is listening, there's your Beyond reference. It's a shitty show you love, so there you go.
Also, I don't understand why they're showing the thing with milk and soda. Like, if you can't
Yeah.
drink it, what's the point?
Well, no, it's just that it looks kind of cool that you can do that and make it clear, basically. I don't know why you would want to do that, but you can. I remember I had a kid I used to visit like twice a year who were friends of the family, and at one point he showed me this jug of something he'd made, and he was like, "Guess he was my friend. He was a nice guy and everything. I'm not trying to make him sound weird or whatever, but he was like, "Guess what fluids these are?" See, that sounds out of context. That sounds horrible.
You're not trying to make them sound weird?
I know.
Truth be told, that
It
is like a
sounds terrible.
thing teenage boys do.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know what to tell you, but in high school there was just a group of boys. They took an empty water bottle, they just threw a bunch of shit into it, and then somebody just walked around with it for a couple days.
He had done a weird science experiment of some kind and had these two glowing, well, not glowing, but like colorful fluids that didn't mix together somehow. So it was like, one of them is, I think he said we've established one of them is Vaseline, or not Vaseline, anyway. But do we have anything else we can cover quickly before that happens?
No. Wait, I got something on this.
Okay,
Okay.
sure. I just threw that link in because I thought it was cute. We don't have to talk about it.
No, I have just like a final thing on this bullshit.
Okay, sure.
Sounds good.
Because I saw on Tumblr somebody actually did a good dissection of this and ended with like so much of this is blatant bullshit, so why did anybody do this? Why did they do this horrible thing?
Mm-hmm.
And it pretty much there was because it's clickbait, and they actually apparently it's a clickbait strategy to throw in intentionally wrong information, because then people will spread it around, debunking it. And then lamenting there was like, there, now I gave, like, my very good, responsible, with all my explanations on the actual signs, and I still fucking help this thing spread, because there's no winning.
Right.
Well, yeah,
that's right.
that's the nature of clickbait, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, on Tumblr especially too, because you're going to end up posting the original video and have commentary underneath, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the strategy.
Yeah.
How would you reverse that exactly? I guess you could just do an original post saying, "Hey, there's a video I don't want to link to, and it says blah blah blah," and
well, that's kind of what's happening on Twitter, where somebody will post something on Twitter, but instead of like retweeting it and adding a commentary, people will just make a new tweet instead, saying, "Saw a post about X, Y, and Z. Not gonna retweet it, but it's bullshit." And that sort of thing. That sort of thing's been happening a lot. So like, shit's been happening on Twitter, and I don't see the original post, which is technically a good thing. So I just know shit's happening somewhere.
For all the many problems with Twitter, I have to admit Tumblr has that worse structure where you're going to, the OP is going to be part of the system more likely than Twitter is, basically.
Yeah, or at least, like, I also think the general caliber of Twitter users in terms of just kind of common sense is a little bit higher compared to Tumblr users.
Really?
On average?
Oh my god! This is me not spending a lot of time on Tumblr, and my monocle fell out when you said that. I was just like, what?
My Tumblr monocle just fell.
I know, right? And I'm not even, like, trying to say that teenagers are stupid, because that's not what I'm saying. But it's just sort of like...
Yeah.
People on Tumblr just wouldn't think that, oh, maybe I shouldn't try to spread the OP around. That's all. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. Well, that's something I've heard people complain about, and often linked to those our favorite scapegoats, those damn millennials. But
except we're not teenagers.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I have seen that kind of, and I mean, by definition, it would be younger people who were doing this, where they figured something out, and it's like, oh, I figured something out. And it's like, yeah, thank you. Generations upon generations before you have figured that same thing out, and you're acting like you just discovered it for the first time.
Well, I don't know. White people do that with foreign shit all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's definitely not an age thing. It's definitely not an age thing, unfortunately.
Right. Well, it's kind of just like people said, like, it's the kind of thing where people go, like, the first superhero movie was Spider-Man in 2001. Like, that kind of, like, they're just wrong about, like, obviously that is incorrect and it existed before that. Or, movies were invented by George Lucas in 1977, like that kind of thing. There's a lot of people wouldn't say that, but there's a lot of people who seem to implicitly believe that, basically.
Oh,
like, you're going to find
like, the hero's journey did not exist before the original Star Wars movie.
Ironically enough, well, no, they'll say, oh yeah, the hero's journey was thrust into modern culture by George Lucas or whatever, which, yes, he definitely...
He had a hand in it, but that doesn't mean it didn't exist prior to that.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point is that he took an existing theory, which, that also, by the way, is extremely dubious, and I'm glad people... And I don't just mean in terms of writing, like using it as a template for writing. People have actually... I've seen people go back and they're starting to criticize what Joseph Campbell had to say, because a lot of it is... vaguely Jordan Petersonian, where he just uses these incredibly broad generalities to make it seem mixed in with, like, things that are obviously true, but they're so general, of course they're true. And, apparently Campbell was, like, in an interview, he was just, people were like, well, this is all, assuming a male hero. What about stories with female heroes?
Oh, yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, and he just said, "Oh no, females don't have the hero's journey. That doesn't work with them or whatever."
And that pissed off a lot of people.
as well it should.
Yeah.
We're bitching about the hero's journey, or
the hero's
journey. Joseph Campbell and the Power of Myth, and also I like
shit, not Bruce Campbell. That would be a very different. Although I would probably read that book.
That's true. Although, because we actually have them on cassette tapes, because that's how old I am. So we have the Power of Myth on cassette tapes, and I've actually never read it, and I've never listened to it, but I am aware of the theories that are within it, and so I also wonder how much of it is also from a Western standpoint, and not looking at, like, any kind of Asian or African or South American media.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that's definitely a thing. He was very Western-centric.
The last podcast I did before I was fired from it.
Aww.
Because I'm not at all still bitter about that. We actually did a thing on that, and I brought up, like, a whole list of just different structures that don't fall into the hero's journey one.
Right.
From various cultures, like from Icelandic and Indian, and just to all that.
Right. So, because, like, the hero's journey is one method of telling a story, and it's a good method. It's a tried and true one, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the only one.
Well, so I was thinking we definitely have to talk about, there is Waluigi news this week. Oh, there is.
Oh, I have.
Did I miss it?
We have two Super Smash Brothers related things, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's that one that Ing linked to earlier on, in the Twitter messages, which is about the Smash final boss. But then there is also Waluigi news. But let's do the first one.
Hold on.
That one was a wonderful title for clickbait, and I wanted to actually reward that.
Yes. It's Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Final Boss was pulled straight out of the Bible.
Oh, that one. Well, that's just the Japanese. They do that.
Well, it's... I
open the image.
I'll send the link there.
It's not a real Japanese game unless the characters are trying to kill God.
Fair enough. That just seems to be... This is me not being a gamer and going, okay.
Okay, Jehovah, if you want an ass kicking, meet me outside Tokyo Tower.
If you played any of the Final Fantasy games, it's pretty much the running theme, is that they're always trying to kill God.
Meet me at the Shibuya Akita statue if any gods want an ass kicking.
Yeah, basically. So let's see.
But someone trying to be God is not God, so that's kind of a demiurge kind of thing with the.
Yeah. Because that's kind of what 9 is a guy who's trying to become immortal, so he makes immortal kids and it's a good game.
10 explicitly is God, though.
Yeah, 10 is explicitly God.
It's the God
of the... explicitly God.
It's the actual God that the religion worships.
Yeah.
Right. But it seems like this particular Smash Brothers, it's a seraphim. It's not God.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, again, it's still very Japanese to do something like that.
So. The whole gist of it is that something in the trailer that then kills all the characters in Smash, because why wouldn't it, kind of looks like a seraphim, but that's not exactly taking it right out of the Bible.
Yeah.
I mean, an angel is a fairly common concept with... But, okay, so that's one thing, but then the other news about Smash Brothers and Waluigi was... Well, it's not really about... It's not really about Waluigi. I guess it's not... Okay, I'm sorry. I'm calling it Waluigi news because people keep associating it with Waluigi. But it was the fact that you could play as a piranha plant in in Super Smash Brothers now.
And of course, am delighted.
Same. I love it. It's great. He has little feet.
Which, fair enough. But the joke that everyone was... putting on it was like they put Waluigi in a piranha plant and they said, one of these is now playable in Super Smash Brothers. But Waluigi is not. And just it's become almost a running gag that was done to piss off Waluigi fans, from what I could tell. That they made a Piranha Plant a playable character, not Waluigi.
I don't think it would have pissed them off necessarily, because I feel like Waluigi fans would be like, okay, this isn't the worst thing. We can accept this. Because fuck it, we'll never get Waluigi. Let's get the goddamn Piranha Plant. And it should be noted, it's the Piranha Plant. It's not Petey Piranha, who is a common boss in various Mario games. No, it is a Piranha Plant.
Okay.
Except it smashes that it turns into Petey Piranha.
Oh, it is? It's Final Smash?
Yeah,
okay.
So it is kind of Petey Piranha, but it's baby Petey.
Yeah.
Right.
He's a wee baby, a wee little, just a little bean sprout.
But does that mean, and again, me not being a gamer here, can you play as like Goombas and Koopas and
no.
like Bob-Bombs?
Aren't they assists? I assume they're assists.
Yeah, you can play as Bowser and the Koopalings.
Well, sure. I mean, those are major characters. I'm just saying, like, why of all the random enemies in Mario is it a Piranha Plant that you can play as?
Because it's awesome. Shut up.
Indeed, and everybody fucking hates them because you think it's a pipe, and oh, there's the Piranha Plant just biting your butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, yes, but how do you fight with that? That's what I don't quite understand.
Oh, you haven't seen the gift sets of its moveset yet?
No, I have not. I can't say as I have.
Okay. That's how I know it has little feet, because I've seen the gifs.
Okay. All right.
It rides around in a little pipe.
Mm-hmm.
And the pipe just kind of...
Feet stick out of the bottom.
Yeah.
Yep. And when it jumps up and stuff, you can see its little feet sticking out of the bottom. It's very, very cute. Oh. So I've posted this link for Adam to avoid any confusion as to how a Piranha Plant fights.
All right. I think I'll see it and I'll immediately get it. But up until that point, because from what I remember of Smash Brothers, you're running around on platforms.
Yep.
Unleashing attacks on each other.
Yep.
And the plan is just it. As far as I can tell, it would have one attack, and that is
bite.
Having its
No,
bite
it could also spit a fireball, or poisonous pollen, or a spike ball. And,
okay, all right.
You know, it has leaves, so it can do a hit.
It can smack.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I'm
it can
seeing
do a hit.
Yeah, okay. Okay, we've established that.
Yeah. So apparently this is something that, you know, Adam severely doubted, so we had to pause everything.
I was skeptical, but you sold me on the Piranha Plant.
Yeah. I mean, I guess of all of the characters, the Piranha Plant is likely the least mobile of them, but, like, the Duck Hunt dog and duck is in this game, you know?
Yes, I can see these.
More like the fuck hunt dog. I didn't have anything.
Well, Isabel's also in the game, and that'll be adorable no matter what.
Her final smash is tax fraud.
Yep. Well, no, that's not Isabel.
Yes, no, it's a joke. I checked.
Is she's the one who commits tax fraud?
Yes. It's a joke there that all she commits tax fraud.
Wait, are we still talking about a video game here?
Yes.
Yes. We're talking about Animal Crossing now.
This is why I don't play video games and don't get video games.
It's too complicated now with...
Why? Why?
It's not that it's complicated, it's that why would you put tax cheating into a video game? I remember...
it in, like, the stupid Wikipedia for it, it lists, like...
Yeah.
It, for some reason, lists an incident where she talks about a trip and said, or like a thing she does with the player, and wonders aloud if, since this is if she can write it off as a work expense. So now the Wikipedia has that she has possibly committed tax fraud.
Oh, God. Oh, jeez.
The richness and complexity of video games these days. I remember somebody made the joke. Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, and somebody made the joke as like, oh, okay, so people do like walking simulators as long as they're about cowboys.
And I am very pleased that apparently the tradition of hilariously bad model glitches are coming on there.
Oh, yeah.
Because I just saw one where people are specifically having this long exposition thing, but the characters have both fallen on their sides and are spinning around at high speed like they're in a shemping competition.
I think I saw one where it looked like the character was... There was one where the character looked like they were just walking, but they were, like, doing the limbo, so...
Oh, it starts out as that because they start to sink into the ground.
Yeah.
And then the game, I guess, tries to fix that, by having... And its reconciliation just involves them spinning.
Yeah, but you know, it's the best game ever, guys.
I'm sure it might be, but...
Not my thing, personally, because it's a Rockstar game, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not my thing, personally. But that's just me.
Speaking of which, do we have anything else, or is that going
do we want to talk about cats?
Well...
I kind of do want to
talk about cats.
And
then if anyone wants to talk about voting stuff, since it's voting day.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Adam, did you vote?
Glorious. Yes, I had
vote.
A mail-in ballot.
Damn it! I refuse to vote.
Well, you're in Canada, so it's fine.
Aww, we ruined the whole bit that we were gonna do.
Well, I didn't know about the bit. You need to tell me about the bit.
No,
I voted.
My shtick.
Considering the fact they called it Canada, but...
Wagga wagga. Anyway, so Avi's got this one link.
Yeah, it's not really clickbait. I just thought it was cute.
It's totally clickbait. What are you talking about? Clickbait isn't inherently bad, necessarily.
That's true. This one is more like, this is a distraction while I'm at work, waiting at the elevator or something like that. So.
Yeah, well, this is a cat video, or cat pictures, at least.
A kitty-o, if you will.
A kitty-o.
Which, I think at this point, anything featuring cats is automatically in the clickbait arena, basically.
Pretty much.
So, it's just about how there's a museum in Japan, and these two cats have been attempting to enter this museum.
To rob it?
Apparently.
Yeah.
Quite possibly. They are cats, after all.
Meowshins 11?
Yes, precisely.
Oh, good God.
Except there's only two of them.
Well, Avi, come on. Avi, don't be ridiculous. They're cats. They can't count.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
I forgot.
Hey, you said Meowshins 11. I said dead pussidents.
Ah.
I was very proud of myself for that one. Anyway. And
Bad Boys too, but they're cats.
Oh, no!
That's not a heist movie, though. It has to be a heist movie.
It involves heistery.
Yeah, but the heist... Heistification is indulged in.
It involves the noble art of larceny.
And yet... Yeah, but they're the bad guys, so...
Yeah,
doesn't count.
In any case, they don't know if these cats have actually been let into the museum, considering the museum has now been using them in their marketing campaign.
Right.
They're earning money off of these two stray cats, damn it. Well, possibly stray cats. One of them seems to have a collar.
Well, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if the museum had adopted them. Sorry, I have a mouthful of food.
Yeah, I mean, they've had train stations in Japan have adopted cats as their mascot.
Yeah.
Including one famous one that was like the honorary,
station master?
Yeah, the station master. And then when she died, She was popular enough to properly actually ascend to godhood.
Yeah. Isn't there a town in Canada that has a cat as its mayor or something?
Possibly.
Because we have to make sure
Canada?
that Adam just can't get too uppity about the Japanese love of cats.
Indeed. I think it's Canada. I'm not sure. It might be in America.
I mean, I'm totally sure if it's a town of 5 people and they need a promo. Cats, and my favorite detail about the cats, the Japanese cats, their names are Ken and Gosaku, so their names are Black Cat and Ginger Cat.
Aww.
Yep.
Very, very inventive there, guys.
I know I've shared this before, but it's still one of my favorite facts that the British painter Hogarth is known to have had at least two beloved pug dogs in his life.
Aww.
Possibly more, but the ones we know the names of were named Trump, which back then was slang for fart.
Fart, yeah.
Oh my god.
And Pug with 2 G's.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, it's like naming your dog and your cat. It's fine.
Or naming your cat dog, as some
I
people
know a fair number of people who like to name their cat Sushi. Like to name their cat Sushi.
That's a good name for a cat.
That's a good name for a cat.
Yes. We have...
Should the rest of the podcast just be coming up with cat names?
Yeah.
I think it should.
Because my cat Baxter does have a number of aliases he's known as, like,
Star-Lord?
officially by the police. There's, of course, Star-Lord Baxter. There's Professor Meowiarty.
That one I didn't know about.
Yes, Senior Meow Meow, Mr. Sir.
I like Mr. Sir, that's good.
Mr. Sir.
Yes.
Well, my friend has a dog named Major Wigglebottom.
Aww, that's cute too.
He's a dachshund, just for context.
That's a good name for a dachshund.
You can call him Wiggly for short.
I like that there's two kind of
Calls him Major.
It seems to be that there's exactly two sort of acceptable ways to name pets. Either a very serious name, which is thus funny, or just naming them kind of Mad Lib style.
Right.
Like, this is my cat, Professor Julius D. Proust, and this is my dog, Napkin.
Somehow that's a perfect name for a dog.
Yeah,
it is.
Well, when I was the same guy, because we're old friends, when we were growing up, he had a dog named Hobbs. So we ended up taking in a stray cat who we just decided. I insisted we name Calvin for matching reasons, which was kind of cool.
Okay,
yes.
that's
a
cute.
Good name for a cat and a dog, I feel like. But there you
Yeah.
go. Anyway.
How was Gobi named? I feel like you guys told
He
us,
was
and
short
I don't
for
remember.
he was short for something.
No, Liz named him because she, for some reason, knew this trivia that the first, recorded thing of this dog breed was skeletal remains found in the Gobi Desert.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay.
Which is
Because
where,
I remember
the-
I remember asking if it's Gobi like the Alu or Gobi like the desert, and she said it was Gobi like the desert.
Yes.
Well, it could be
Good
short
time.
for Gobo.
I mean, he does go by Gobert. Gobert
Gobert.
is sort of his
Goku.
reverse nickname, yes.
Secretly the Monkey King.
This is my cat, Seymour Philip Hoffman, and my pug, Son Goku.
Well, we've agreed we like dogs.
We like
And that
dogs. We like
And
cats.
that we're very tired.
Yes, and hungry.
Yes,
Oops.
actually, I think it's probably time to wrap things up.
Indeed.
We've crossed the hour mark, and basically run out of clickbait. After a wealth of the last few weeks.
Yeah,
we're, a little
we
low
had
this
very
week.
little this week.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, to reach, if we wanted to talk about something else, we still have...
Oh, the election, yes.
Well, also, my... excuse me, if we may, I'll just read out some titles there. There's Is It Just Me or Is The Lord of the Rings the most boring movie ever?
Oh, that one, yeah.
Scientist processed 109 hours of oral sex to develop an AI that sucks dick.
Ooh, yeah. Like, I didn't even read that article, I just saw that title and I'm like, yep, that's going in. We might not talk about it, but goddamn.
I have to confess I'm slightly curious.
Oh god, the GIFs and diagrams associated with this are horrifying.
No,
really?
You don't say.
Because just that one photo is awful. It's just so bad.
And then and then I scrolled down too much and got to a new article. Researcher created Deep Cream Pea, a machine learning algorithm to uncensor hentai.
What?
What are they letting these people do? You've gone too far, Doctor. You've crossed a line that man was not meant to cross.
This is how Judgment Day happens. Sarah Connor warned us about it.
Yeah.
Imagine.
That's why Skynet hates humanity, because it was forced to study.
I just imagining in this version of the end of the world, it's the whole intro scene with the Terminator crushing the skull, but as the camera pans up, we see that it has a huge erection.
Why? Because...
I don't know. Why did people spend so many time teaching robots to be thirsty on me?
I mean, I guess somebody's thinking in terms of sex robots, clearly. They're like, that's the end game there, and they'll make, millions and millions of dollars off of sex robots, but nothing they've done... What's insane is that all the robots they've built are, like, the image they've got here are not even remotely sexy. Like, it's a head attached to a metal
Adam's
frame.
very judgmental and body shaming of robots.
Of robots? Sure, yes. Well,
close your
remember
slut
remember that thing they wanted to create a thing that could kind of make human noises, and it was just like a nose and a mouth, and it went meh, meh, meh,
oh yeah,
meh, meh. Remember that thing? Okay,
yeah, the robot to make human phonemes.
Yeah, and this is the slightly less horrifying version of that.
Really? Because I kind of think this one is more horrifying, because it also involves a, let us say, odds are good, of a rather unpleasant gentleman encouraging you to stick your dick in it.
That is true. The context makes this one way more horrifying than the other one. The other one is more naturally horrifying just to look at and to listen to. But this one, once you know what it's for...
Okay, but imagine that robot, and then there's a guy showing it off very happy, and he's like, yeah, you want to put your dick in it?
You know you do. Come on. Come on.
Is that
oh, you wish your girlfriend was hot like this? Yes!
Although I do have to say, if you scroll down there, they have a read more that says, don't let this robot suck your dick.
Uh-huh.
Mixed messages, man.
The initial bug testing went very wrong. It's a bad bake,
There are so many ways.
We lost so many undergrads.
And they all died with smiles on their faces for some reason.
No, it was horrible grimaces and screams.
And apparently this was an Indiegogo campaign?
What? To build the robot?
Yeah. The
Okay.
Auto Blow AI sex toy made from penis-possessing individuals consists of a rubbery sleeve and a motor housed inside a canister that aims to simulate oral sex. It launched its Indiegogo campaign and quickly hit its goal of $5,000.
So,
$5,000?
there's a number of nouns that I don't like in that sentence.
That sentence wasn't going anywhere it could after about the third or fourth word.
I think one big one is well, let's say sleeve and motor, which does not sound...
Yeah. It's a rubbery sleeve and a motor.
Yeah, that makes all the difference.
Inside a canister.
The other one is the use of the term launch, which I don't think that you should actually use that verb in anything involving a phallus.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's a startup campaign to, I don't know, to get the seed money to...
No, not seed money!
Oh, I hope this. I hope this ends up in one of those YouTube video compilations where it's like the 10 worst Kickstarter campaigns about sex or something like that.
I mean, to be fair, I did find that we did a bit ago on the vaginal bacteria beer.
Oh, that's true.
Was covered by a YouTube channel called Retsu Prey that covers some bad Kickstarters, and they had found that one.
Oh my god, but seriously.
And were appropriately horrified. I still kind of think any robot that involves the thing, we need to test it, pull down your pants, is gonna be inherently a bad idea.
Because there's a quote in here where the guy is like, I'm lucky and unlucky. And he's just kind of like, it was interesting at first watching all those videos, and then it was just too much.
You don't say! This is a bit like, I think it was Roger Ebert who said, when you watch 5 minutes of pornography, you want to have sex right away. When you watch 10 minutes of pornography, you never want to have sex again.
Yeah.
Which might be exaggerating the scale a little, might be compressing the scale a little bit.
I guess it depends on what kind of pornography. Anything involving this abomination.
I mean, this is specifically oral sex, so... Yeah, but that's what he says. Well, to be honest, I was lucky and unlucky. Smiley face! A few videos at the beginning of the project were interesting, ... Until the end, it was a bit, I'll say, heavy to watch. So much oral sex.
From videos, I don't even want to. I don't know where to start with that. Like, I don't know if videos are actually even the best research. I don't know that you could do for something like that.
Probably not.
But it's all they know.
Well, we should probably.
They are building. They're the ones who build a sex robot, so they don't have a lot of options, basically.
No.
I mean, okay, so the general joke I did is that they spent, 109 hours. And that may seem excessive, but you have to remember, it's not like that would have been time well spent otherwise.
Yeah, it was 1,200 video clips, so...
It's like, they could be curing cancer. No, they
really couldn't. If anything, it was probably a net benefit to everyone that this occupied them.
Yeah,
and kept them away from the rest of society for 100 hours. Their colleagues got a lot done when they didn't have to babysit these people anymore.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that they went to LinkedIn to try to find people.
Especially since this, this feels more like a Craigslist thing.
A little bit.
Yeah, we need to find that profile on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Went to LinkedIn.
Yeah, Brian reached out on social media, ... I think on LinkedIn, the scientist behind the anonymous email address wrote back, our initial discussion was not about sex toys and porn, it was technical, dealing with video analysis and artificial intelligence stuff. He was pretty open to the fact that several teams did not want to work on this sort of project. I had no problem with it.
Winky frown.
Yeah. And they also said that they have a PhD on AI stuff. Are you sure?
Is that the technical term? I have a PhD in AI stuff?
On AI stuff, yeah, I don't know. And I've appeared in more than 30 publications and patents.
I got my PhD from University Academy.
Yep.
He's a real scientist.
Well, this is what we talk about. It's fine. It's fine.
Is it though?
You say with all the sense that it's not fine.
No,
nothing will ever be fine again.
I mean, let's be fair. It's not necessarily blowjobs that the Japanese were doing. It was hand jobs with their weird virtual reality stuff. So this isn't actually that far out there, but it's also just kind of like with that they're attaching a personality to it, whereas with this it's basically a sock you're putting over your dick and turning it on.
See, I haven't gone through any links to what this machine would look like. One, because just the diagrams of stuff are horrifying in of itself.
Well, according to their description, it's a rubbery sleeve. I assuming it's basically a rubber sock.
But... Well, and that's the other thing, that nothing will match the horrible nightmare image that I have in my mind, involving, like, just some rubbery sleeve and, like, a compressed air tank.
Oh, God! That's awful! Oh, jeez, and there's people who want this. People who donated $50,000 for this.
Oh, $50,000. I thought you said $5,000. I was like, that's a very low number.
No,
really, Adam? Because that seems too high to me.
Oh, yeah, that.
It's too much that anyone donated, but from a purely budget perspective, it seems more plausible. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, those. Oh, God. They're just awful. Just awful.
Everything about it looks like a scene from someone doing a Lego version of Saw.
It's also interesting that the Slider Man is also gendered. I would have assumed that they would have made it non-gendered just for aesthetic reasons, but apparently not. They made it a presumably dude's head.
Did they specifically do it for like a pun on Slender Man? Because
in the article they call it Slider Man.
But it's like, was that chosen?
It's possible that one person thought it was funny because it sounds like Slender Man, and the other guys were like, "Yeah, that's a good name. Let's do that." Because that's what happens.
I feel like this started out as one person saying something as a joke, and his friends saying, "Yeah, let's do that." And them just getting caught into a whole big thing because they couldn't extract themselves from the situation.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
The whole situation in general is something that you would probably have trouble extracting yourself from. But then if you were there in the first place, like the elevator pitch going right in was, we're going to invent a robot that knows how to give oral sex. So, are you in or you're out? It's a very straightforward question at that point. There are no further depths to which to sink after that. So, you may as well. I think it's time to ring off for the evening. At that point.
Probably. This is a weird note to end on. I was hoping it would be cats, but this is fine.
Yeah. Cats and blowjobs, whatever will distract us from the ongoing horror that is the election. I don't know. Who knows what it's going to be like. As of this writing, we're recording this on election night, so we don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, Christ. I wasn't thinking about it till now.
Oh, sorry, ding. Anyway, so, yeah, well, I guess we'll ring off. We'll all collapse into bed and pretend we didn't hear about sex robots today. And
why can't we do kitten robots?
Well, there are little dog robots that people like. There's those.
I feel in this context that just made things worse.
Yeah, because those dog robots are never good. I've had a couple.
No, but he's talking about the context we've just been talking about robots.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, you were trying to be classy and deflected, and I just dove right in, didn't I?
Yeah.
All right. That's it. Everyone, out of the pool. Let's go home. It's the end of Destroy All Clickbait for the week.
Everyone, hook up your kangaroos to the chariots and let's hop on out.
Let's go down under. Let's go walk about into the backwoods.
Take your boomerangs and the Jews and saddle up your wombats.
Oh my god, that may be... Can we go back to talking about the blowjob robot, maybe, to deflect from that? Anyway. Alright, have a good night, everyone. Ing, Avi, and I, Avi has a Patreon as well. I'm going to link to that below. So there are 3 Patreons for you to support. All of them will let you listen to the show early, because why would you want to do that? I don't know, but some people apparently like to do that. We're streaming on Twitch every week. If you weren't already listening right now, we will always be providing a link. Follow us on Twitter at Prankster36, AviViave, and Ingdammit. Those are our Twitter handles. Again, we will provide the links. Until next time, everyone, avoid the clickbait, avoid the bad news, avoid politics, avoid everything, go sleep for a year, and maybe you'll all be okay, and the blowjob robots won't come get you. Good night, everyone.
They probably still will.